It's not common, it's not normal, and it is not an everyday thing for a colony to just disappear. And in this case, there are many theories on what could have happened to the colonists from Roanoke, or otherwise known as the Lost Colony. Keyword lost. From being abducted by big headed green aliens. And then the colonists probably ended up somewhere in Mars or Jupiter, maybe? Or maybe getting lost at sea because these stupid people didn't know where they were going and they had no map because they are really dumb. Duh. Or maybe they were killed by Spaniards because they thought they were cool and tough and making the Spaniards mad was a good idea, apparently. Or maybe to being killed by Native Americans while also being confused by their language and wondering why they don't wear pants.
As you can assume, many theories arise because of the very mysterious disappearance, and the theory number one is aliens. It was just another normal day for the colonists. Nothing new, just another day. The colonists were chilling, hanging around, and one of the colonists was like, "Nothing new ever happens around here." And the other colonist said, "Well, duh, you stupid man. We have no freaking supplies whatsoever. What are we supposed to do besides wait for white?" All the colonists were just hanging around and talking, and out of nowhere, a huge, very huge spaceship lands on their village. Totally not made out of paper, and an alien walks out of the spaceship, feeling all cool and powerful. And the colonists start to freak out and run around like crazy. The alien said, "Yo, calm down. We're just gonna run a few tests on you and we'll be out of here." So the colonist said, "You better test these hands if you don't get out." Because, there's always that one little colonist that feels like he can protect the whole colony against aliens, but that's not possible. So then the alien got offended, I guess, and asked the colonists, "Do you have a moment to talk about the universe?" And in that moment, he took the colonists and threw them out somewhere in space, or ate them, or killed them, or you never know. Aliens are crazy big heads.
Days were beginning to feel like years, and seconds were beginning to feel like hours. You can imagine that the colonists were extremely bored and frustrated, becoming so impatient having to wait for John White. So one day, a colonist was like, "Hey, I'm bored. And y'all do know we're just gonna die out here with no supplies. So I have an idea. Why don't we just build a boat and sail back to England?" And another colonist was like, "And how in the heck are we gonna build a boat if we have no supplies?" And so another colonist said, "I have an idea. Why don't we just use the wood from our houses?" And for once, in that moment, the colonists were smart. And so they started to nicely dismantle their houses and they began to build boats to be on their way back to England. As they sailed to England, they came across one of the Spaniard ships. And fortunately, the colonists had picked up some rocks on their village to use as weapons in case one of the Spaniard boats came across them. They were prepared. And so they started to throw the rocks at the Spaniards because they freaked out, And so then the Spaniards were just standing there taking the hits, they think this is gonna hurt us, idiotas. So then the colonists felt like they were all that and they started to scream, "We got them! They will never be able to hurt us now! Yay!" And so then the Spaniards took out the real weapons and aimed them at the colonists. And they were like, "Hey, wey, venimos a matarte." And so the colonists did not understand one single word that the Spaniards said because obviously they do not speak Spanish. And they were like, "No hablo español." And so then the Spaniards said, "No te hagas güey." And then the colonists assumed that was offensive, I guess. And they said, "Stupid Spaniards, let's fight then. Are y'all gonna throw rocks back or what?" But obviously the Spaniards had weapons, so yeah. And then the dumb colonists didn't have any supplies with no weapons, so the Spaniards said, "Estos estúpidos no saben lo que dicen." And so they eventually took the colonists hostage and killed them because, yeah, they knew what they were doing.
So, an additional theory. The colonists of Roanoke could have decided to live in the Roanoke Island and move in with the natives after waiting so long, which was probably like a week of impatiently waiting. The colonists decided to carve the word Croatoan as a sign to John White that when he came back, they would be located in the Croatoan Island with the Indians. But this doesn't mean that the colonists got there and they were like, "Hey, Indian buddies, we've come to live with y'all because we're stupid and we have no supplies." And it also doesn't mean that the Native Americans were like, "Hey, buddy, we're totally gonna share our turkey with y'all and y'all can show us how to wear pants." Heck no. What happened was that the colonists and the Native Americans came across each other. There was this really bad vibe, like the dun 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 vibe, you know? And the Native Americans came close to the colonists, and the chief touched one of the colonists' face and said, "Aya gegeyui nihi." And the colonists were like, "What the heck? What is he saying, you know?" And another colonist said, "Maybe they want turkey or pants, maybe?" But the chief said, "Adeyalanashisti itula aya." And one of the colonists said, "Who knows? Maybe it will be fun. Let's follow them." They were so dumb. Because what they did not expect was that the tribe only wanted to kill them. The Indians basically attacked them 5 minutes after talking to them, even though neither understood each other. And after they killed them, they nicely dismantled the colonists' houses and went back to the Croatoan Island. Oh, but before they did that, they carved the letter CRO on a tree as a symbol that they had been on the Roanoke territory. And then they said, "Gunsbua Equa," and they happily walked back home. There are many, many, many theories on what could have happened to the colonists from Roanoke, or otherwise known as the Lost Colony. From being abducted by big aliens, to getting lost at sea, or being killed by Spaniards because they thought they were cool and they thought that making the Spaniards mad was cool, or to being killed by Native Americans while being confused with their language and wondering why they don't wear pants or why they eat turkey. Or you never know. The colonists could have been like, "Hey, dude," and the other one was like, "What, dude?" And then the other colonist said, "I'm hungry, dude." And then they ate each other. Nothing unusual at all. There are many ideas, there are many theories. And with all the theories aside, no one has been able to really prove what happened to Roanoke, or otherwise known as the Lost Colony. This is something that will always remain a mystery.